Oh,
Ooh,
I know. Right now I have you have like as kind of like a light, like I have like a teal and then like a ocean blue. I don't know. I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's your brand. Like if it is, we can workshop that. But
I like those colors.
nice. Okay, then I'm leaving it. So talk to me about Captain Falcon. Like talk to me about Super Smash Bros. Melee. So what's up? Like how have things been? I know that you mentioned life things have been a little busier, but like yeah, have you been able to like try anything we talked about, or is it like still kind of what's going on?
Yeah, so when we last talked, it was about Falco stuff for the most part, right? And a big thing, the thing I've been doing the most by far is just recognizing when I do have the chance to go for bigger hits, and especially in the Falco matchup, that's made a huge difference. Like, I'm still not very good at like getting a shield poke specifically or something like that, but like recognizing, okay, I've got them to like stop being aggressive. Now it's my turn, and like I can like go for a dash grab or something like that. So Falco matchup specifically, that's felt a lot better because of doing that.
Let's go. And talk to me. I know that we had mixed feelings about Gentleman. Have you been able to make Gentleman work a little bit more, or Jabs work a little bit more, or is that still something that like, because I know that that's a part of the character that's a little controversial. Like some people hate it, some people, and I don't think you need.
Right.
Like I think Wizrobe kind of demonstrates you don't like technically need it, but like yeah, I'm just curious about that. Where do you kind of fall in that camp right now?
I think I still just autopilot Gentleman whenever it feels like I need to cover myself, and I think it ends up being a mixed bag. Like I haven't analyzed it and like tried to decide like, okay, I'm definitely gonna do it here, definitely not gonna do it here. Like right now thinking about it, there's almost certainly gonna be times where like if the Falco is doing certain inputs, I can like stuff him with jab, right? Like obviously if he's like wave dashing towards me, that's probably the worst time to try to do it.
Yeah, but if he's jumping out of shield for like a down air or like a shine use.
Yep, that's kind of what I was thinking. And it's like, I think it would only be good to do if like I didn't have time for an air. So I need to look into that, but I haven't like made any changes in regards to that.
What are
I've
your
been
thoughts
trying
on jab grab?
That's actually a really good idea.
Okay.
Because if they're going to be trying to CC shine the jab, that's a lot of Falco like sitting there confirming that he got hit, shining, using his 5-frame jump squat, and then maybe doing something. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, like and it kind of like against characters who have lower range, against characters like that are waiting for like the next steps of the Gentleman. That seems like a natural mix-up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so maybe that's something to explore further.
Yeah,
on
that's
that
a really
front.
good idea. And I think I have seen Wizard do that exact option.
Yeah, that's like basically when in doubt, I'm just like, oh, what's Wizzy up to?
Yeah, I definitely try to do that too. It's like even if it's not the best, it'll be very obvious what he's trying to do.
And you know what? That intentionality is kind of like a big part of like how like I know that you said that like you're kind of you're like taking your first foray, I guess, like, or serious foray into the world of like, okay, maybe everything in this game isn't reactable, and it feels weird that we're talking about Wizrobe in that context, but like like I think that one of the great things about studying from Wizrobe and like how Wizrobe operates as a player is that everything he does is so obvious. Why do you think that might be an advantage in the rock, paper, scissors system?
Like,
why do you think that might work out for Wizrobe in a rock, paper, scissors dynamic?
That's interesting. Because he...
Have you ever played Magic?
No, I know a fair amount of the rules, but I haven't played it.
Have you ever played like a draft format in a game where like, you know, you're like taking cards from booster packs, maybe like Pokemon or anything like that? No?
I've heard that explained for Magic, like cubes, right?
Yeah. So like one of the things that happens, especially in draft, if you're going like if you're doing like an 8-player rotation kind of dealio, is that there's going to be players on either side of you that are doing like, you know, a particular color. There's only 5 colors. So if all of a sudden all your packs being passed to you don't have any blue cards and green cards, well, what does that mean? What does that mean?
You got to work with what you got.
Well, it means that the other players next to you are taking those colors, which means that you are supposed to take the other colors. So you take white, black, and red.
Okay.
Or you can try to, like, bulldoze, or you can decide to brute force it. You're like, nope, the green and blue cards I got early on were really, really good, so I'm going to stick with those. Do you see how and you see how that interaction system forms? Like, it's really intentional. Yep. Well, let's now, like, bring this back to Wizrobe. So Wizrobe's things are super obvious and super intentional. It's so clear what he's going for. So what does that tell you about, like, what your counterplay is supposed to be?
It should be very obvious and very direct to what he's doing, right? Like, you should move to the next, like, layer.
Yeah, exactly. So then when you do that, what does he do?
He's already on the next one.
Probably easier to react to people when you have something like that going on, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if you're doing something that, like, you set up, like, a bunch of Nair walls, and then you pick up, okay, that movement they just did, they're clearly trying to beat my Nair now. It's time to, like, beat that before they even get a chance to, like, prove that they're beating my Nair wall.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Like, I mean, like, if I'm somebody, like, because this is a Sheik player, this is a Sheik player thing too. Like, we layer our wall in such a way that we, like, observe. Like, here, there's a thing I, like, sent to someone. I think it was Aiden I showed it to. I think I called it the Genjutsu Bair, because it was something that Jmook did, and I was just.
Is it like he's setting them up in the same way and then, like, adjusts it to adjust to their adjustment preemptively? Like, just goes in a little bit further or something like that?
Yeah,
so, like,
exactly.
It seems like they're getting hit by the same thing over and over, but they're not.
You're on the right track. Let me show it to you, because, like, this was like when I saw this, I was
losing the 3-op opportunity because of.
When I saw this, I was like, this was a work of art. Like, this was chef's kiss. I could not have done it better myself. Okay, that's not true. But, like, I think that this part of the character I actually did fairly well, so that's just my little thing. But this is, again, so we have, like, containment field Bair into Genjutsu Bair. So that's the first one, and now watch what he does on this.
He just didn't even throw it out.
Yeah, but he knew it was there.
Yeah.
That's why it's a Genjutsu. It's illusion. Like,
yeah, it's not actually happening. You get the effect of it without the end lag of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like, and it makes perfect sense because, like, containment field, like, keeps him in the keeps him on this platform, forces him there, and he actually I'd argue he did it here too. So, like, this one's subtler, but, like
falling off, yeah.
Because, like, where's Mango dash dancing, right? But then he knows that he's waiting for the back air here, so what does Jmook do? He takes the needle damage.
I feel like Jmook's probably, like, if he's really in the zone, I bet he could have reacted to Mango actually coming forward and, like, grabbed instead of doing those needles. Like,
I think, if he's really in the zone, what he does is he back airs.
Just anyway.
Well, yeah, no, like, because he doesn't actually back air. That's the thing. So, like, remember, when he's leaving this platform from here, he can back air. So then, if Mango comes forward, the idea is that he will back air. But if he doesn't, then we do
just
this.
Doing it late on reaction. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's the illusions. So the reason I bring this up is because I think that, like, as you move forward into, like, how you structure your gameplay based on like, with the consideration that we can't just react to everything in mind, this kind of structure I think might work well for you because it's a little bit more straightforward than some of the things that, like, Nun and Johnny do.
Yeah.
But it still plays off your character's powerful strengths. Like, the opponent has to keep certain distance in order for, like, these options in order for them to be able to, like, punish your Nair, for example.
Yep.
They have to, like, get into specific spots. So then by, like, understanding their spatial relationship to those spots, we can then call them out. I think that kind of general framework could serve you well, and I think it's a little bit more it's more intuitive than, like, I think especially for because I never really got, like, how Nun and, like, Johnny do their stuff. Like, I always was, like, a little bit more. I was like, I'm more of an efficiency freak. I think is something that it's something that we have in common. But like, what do you, upon hearing that, like, and seeing that in action, what are your thoughts about, like, how we might be able to apply similar ideas with Falcon? Like, have you seen any ideas like that, like, surface in his metagame?
A big one is, well, I guess it feels like in the same vein, maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but like one thing I've seen talked about, and that makes a lot of sense to me, is so you can react to Falcon's aerials with shield by reacting to his jump squat, right? Pretty consistently, as long as you can shield. But if Falcon does a wave dash instead, all of a sudden he's not jumping and you're shielding because you react to jump squat, right? I don't know if that's like quite in the same vein of what you're getting at.
It's not exactly, but I don't like. It's a cousin. Like they know they live on the same street. Maybe they're at different ends of the street, but like it's definitely related. So I have zero problem. Like I think that's quite astute. The other thing I might consider is like if people are people are shielding in response to us, maybe we just play way greedier with our aerial. Like, why do we have to, like, if they're shielding in response to our jump squat, why do we take, like, a nair? Why don't we go for, like, low-spaced up air?
Yeah.
Like, that to me is also, or, like, stationary jump, low-spaced up air. Like, I think that there's a lot of room for us to capitalize in a way that doesn't allow us, that doesn't put us at as much risk, because I think one of the weaknesses of nair is that the first hit is, like, very exploitable.
Yep.
So maybe we just don't even give them that.
Okay. So, like, instead of, like, doing the instant aerial, like, that's, like, kind of a preemptive move that Falcon has, like, no matter what the aerial is, like, doing it early in your jump is the sort of preemptive move. Jumping and then, like, giving myself time to react during my jump and, like, maybe make a decision.
Yeah, because if they're shielding, what are they going to do about it?
Exactly. And I think that's something KGH told me, too, is just, like, if you, like, Falcon whiffs an up tilt or some shit, all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, this sucks, because now Falcon's in the air and I'm, like, in end lag.
Yeah, like, you basically do whatever the hell you want to him. Usually knee.
Yeah, so
up
it's
air,
a good spot
air.
to be, right?
Yeah. What's the maximum frame advantage Falcon can have with his back air on shield, if you don't mind me asking?
Back air, I'm gonna guess, like, -3. That's my guess. I thought you were gonna ask about knee. Knee is +1 at best.
Oh yeah. No, knee is great. No, knee is great. I'm just wondering if there's some silliness. The reason I'm asking about back air is because it's easier to do.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Auto cancel after 20. Weak hit 17. No, 14 to 17. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know how we would possibly do this, but like. The weak hit back air unironically has like some interesting things there. Like that math does not actually seem bad. His weak hit bear does what, 9?
Damage?
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. I can find that.
6.
I don't know if you've seen fightcore.gg.
Oh yeah, no, I'm there.
Okay.
Open this. So, start view. Yeah. Oh, it does 8.
8. Yeah.
Okay, so 12.45 divided by 2.235. 5. Okay, so it's not quite as exciting. That's okay. I'll cancel lag 19, 14, so 18.85. Okay, yeah. It's all right. I think it's like negative. I think it'll wind up being -2.
Well, so there's a pretty good auto cancel window on Bair. Would it be possible to weak hit auto cancel it?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Like, because so it's 7. It winds up being like, actually, he's like negative. Wow, that's really good. He's -1 on like L canceled like ad ground level
With strong Bair.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, like, yeah, because I'm looking at it here, and it's like, it's 14. No, it's 14, so 14 over, plus 4.45, so 18.45 over 2.235. Yeah, like, shield stun, and yeah, it's got it here, shield stun 8. So yeah, he's a -1. Like, that's really, really strong. He's actually -2 if you do the auto cancel route, because I mapped that out. It's awkward, but you have to hit with like the ending frame of 17, then you go through 3. He's either ties or is 1 frame worse, depending on, I forget how the math works, but like it's either he ties or is 1 frame worse. So with that in mind, maybe strong hit Bair, maybe like turning our back to him. Maybe strong hit Bair and like late hit up air, because I think up air has similar data. L cancel for 7 does 13. Yeah, like I think that there's a lot there. Up air off the top of my head, appeals to me the most, because I think we tie on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, landing hit up air at 13 damage does 7 stun, and it L-cancels for 7. So you actually break even on that one.
Okay.
So I think that, like, I think that as pressure tools, those should be considerations we make, like, when people, like, preemptively shield, because I think that can add a lot of offense to what we're going for. And they're just so positive on, like, they're so positive on shield. They're chunky hits, so there's not, like, a whole lot. Like, what if they wave dash into this, like, what happens? Like, they probably just get knocked over. Like, we're totally good with that. And they've locked themselves out of tech either by the shield or the wave dash, so, like, we're cooking. Like, this seems quite good to me. Does it seem good to you?
100%. I think I've looked at these before, but I've always thought in terms of like the way a melee player does when they see frame data, where it's like, well, if it's not a shine grab, like,
yeah,
what? Surely it's not that good. But now that I'm thinking about it, like -1, even -2 is insane.
Let's actually talk about shield pressure, because that's interesting. So, what is your understanding of shield pressure? Like, what makes good shield pressure in this game? Actually, let me open like this in Slippy so that we can do it that way. Give me uno momento. But answer the question while I'm doing that.
Yeah. I would say good shield pressure is, I guess ideal shield pressure is something that is as safe as possible, that gives you a chance to get a hit if they do the thing that gets hit by what you're doing, like a sequence. But that's more in the camp of like spacies and like Sheik, like you mentioned, like frame trap stuff. Shield pressure with someone who doesn't necessarily have frame trap specific things.
All right, let me ask you, let me turn some things on, and then I want you to answer some questions for me. So we're going to put frame advantage on, because this is an important one. We're going to put fast fall timing on, we're going to put L-cancel on. Because I don't trust my hands, because I'm old and decrepit. So, we're going to
I don't
now...
think you're that much older than me.
How old are you?
29.
Oh my god, I'm ancient. Jesus Christ.
Alright, I'm sorry. That backfired entirely.
That's okay. It's okay. You're young. Okay, so let me ask you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how safe is this back air? Like this one.
Against all characters or Luigi right now?
Against everyone.
Okay, against everyone, I'd give that a 5. That's my gut.
You'd give this a 5? You'd give this back air a 5? Mm-hmm. Really? Okay, so why is it so unsafe?
Because it puts Puff in a spot where a lot of characters can play... Well, at least my Falcon brain's like, oh, I can easily, like, nair out a shield to cover a jump. So, like, that to me is, like, it puts her in a spot where she has to play a mix-up.
Oh,
which...
Let's try that. So you're saying Falcon can just nair out a shield on this?
If he reads jump after the bear, yeah. Like, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, let's try that. I want to see it, but I want to see this. Okay, so did I say? Woo! I don't know. I see problems with this.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem here?
Yeah, it'll only hit if she jumps towards him.
Yeah. So what we have here is, so like, and I'm not doing all these perfectly. I don't play this character except when I hate people. So
right.
But you can see that there's a problem here, like in terms of like how Falcon fundamentally has to like fight this. Jigglypuff can always get back into her fighting stance, and there's nothing he can really do to stop that. So even though he's swinging at the air, he's not really able to like put her in his hit range. Can he?
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're getting at. I think where, like, even though a lot of your options out of shield are like pretty similar to what's not, like, you have a lot of similar options. But at least for Falcon, and honestly, I guess for a lot of characters, not having access to dash actually makes it a lot easier to, like, know what range you need to be at as the attacker.
Yeah, so I want to break this down into 2 zones, because this is, like, where shield pressure, I think, is a bit of... Actually, I should be Marth for this. Marth is much better. So, I want to break this down into... Actually... My old main is actually the best character for demonstrating this. So, there are 2 zones that you have to worry about with shield pressure, fundamentally. when we teach shield pressure, we teach it from a very spacies perspective, which I hate, but
Yes.
like I get it. So what we have here is we have like two. This is what I would consider this is the far space, the spatial shield pressure zone. So what I mean by this is that like this is a zone that characters occupy where they're no longer in range of the opponent's immediate out of shield actions. So what do I mean by the opponent's immediate out of shield actions? Well, because like KirbyKaze, you're crazy. What are you even talking about? Well, what I mean by that is that like in order for him to like hit with Nair, he has to like go up, or like with an aerial out of shield, he has to go up in his jump and then fall from it, or he has to wave dash. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, what do you think this means in terms of, like, our frame advantage? Because this is really, like, what it all boils down to. Like, what do the numbers say? So how much time does a wave dash take, assuming that we're not able to be hit by shield grab, up B, or the rising motion of a jump? That means that at least the fastest way for somebody to get to us is with their wave dash, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So what does that mean in terms of, like, a -5, a -3, a -6, a -7 even?
Yeah, it's still like quite a few frames they'd have to get. Yeah, they're like they can't do anything during that wave dash, and even though it's like something's like -4 on shield, that's still like 10 frames Falcon has to spend like getting to you.
This is why this is actually fine on shield at this kind of distance.
Yeah.
Because like you have to wave dash out of shield, and then you have to do your input, and then by the time you get over there, she's doing this, or this, or like this, or this, or like this again. Like, you know what I mean? So this is like this is the far spacing, like the far shields pressure stance in my what I call it, or like the out of hit stance, because the whole idea here is that you're doing your pressure in a way that like doesn't interact with what the opponent's out of shield options are. So it doesn't matter if you're -3, -1, -6, -4, none of it matters. Because all that happens is that you just hit them, you keep them in shield, and then you wait. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
So then, like, what we have then after that is, like, the close pressure. So this is where, like, the numbers actually matter a lot more. Because the idea of, like, with this stance is, and like, so there's a bit of a blurring between the two of them. Because, like, when you hit here, if you want to frame trap someone, you have to, like, be playing to stuff the shield grab at the bare minimum. That is, like, the baseline for your pressure to be, like, at least okay. But I would say with Falcon, you don't usually want to play this stance until you're very comfortable with doing so. Because, like, your pressure, like, the thing is, being in shield innately is disadvantage state. Because, like, what happens if we turn infinite shield off?
Yeah, you are on a timer.
Right, and now I get to do this. And I get to hit them with whatever move I want, and I get to hit them with whatever move I want and have all the ice cream I want because I deserve it. So it's what we have here is we have like a system that like a lot of players I think fundamentally misunderstand this. They think that like just because they hit the shield, they then have to capitalize on this. But I am saying we actually don't. What we can do is it is completely reasonable and even better with a lot of characters like Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff's like kind of the big one on this. It is actually better often to not pursue a follow-up or a direct punish off of a shield pressure hit because of the sheer power you have by simply waiting for them to act. You are in the driver's seat. They have limited movement. You don't have to do shit. Cool, huh?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, that's kind of the only time she does have that sort of advantage, isn't it? At least against like fast characters. Because against Falcon, it's like you're just trying your best not to get by fucking up air and nair and bear and stuff like that. But as soon as Falcon shields,
yep, this is what I call the hungry box bear. You might recognize it because it's just the hit shield, then dash jump away from the opponent's shield, and then during the like jump squat frames, what's happening is like Puff is moving away, right? So, like, by the time that Jigglypuff is, like, airborne, like, the opponent is just coming out of their wave dash by the time Jigglypuff is airborne.
Yep.
And because
that's where she wants to be.
Yep, she's in her fighting stance. It doesn't matter. And then if she, like, the cool thing is that if she, like, look at the frame advantage that she has on this. 13. Well, how long does a wave dash out of shield take?
Yeah, minimum that.
Yeah, so this is totally safe.
Damn.
This is
it's like on paper that sounds like such a, like, not good frame advantage just because I'm used to reading, like, the Fox and Falco frame data.
She has the best poking, she has the best footsie tool in the game, the best undershoot in the game, bar none, and it is because she is the only character who doesn't worry about the high-low mix-up. She doesn't. She doesn't care.
I guess, what do you mean by doesn't worry about the high-low mix-up? Like, no matter what, if someone's coming at you from the air or ground, the bear can win out if you're right.
So here's what I mean. So if I were doing a rising aerial on somebody's shield as Marth, like, if I did this back air on shield with Marth, if I was, like, in somebody's zone, what happens if somebody wave dashes into me? Like, what happens if somebody, like, attacks out of shield into me when I'm Marth? Well, they can probably move into my space pretty effectively.
Yeah.
But because she full hops for this, and then she's, like, actionable as they come out of the wave dash, none of that matters. So, so whether she's like falling, whether she's like rising from here or falling from here, it doesn't matter when she hits the shield. Whereas for Marth, you have like a mix-up of like, when is he hitting his shield? Is he doing it going up or is he doing it going down? But because of her air mobility and like the efficiency on this move, she can adjust to both of those things in real time. She can adjust to like the positional part in real time, and it doesn't matter if she hits the shield going up, like from here, or down from here. She's fine either way.
I don't get how it's fine for her to land, like, how it's just as fine for her to land.
Well, like
up in the air it makes sense, because, like, there's no, like, lag or anything. Like, you're just done, and now you're, like, fully actionable, right?
So I don't mean them together. I mean, like, if she's already in here and she comes down like this and, like, hits your shield, she's totally fine.
Oh, okay. Because of the frame advantage being bigger.
Yeah.
Or being, better.
It's good enough.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's good enough. So, like, a lot of characters, when they do, like, full hop aerials like this, like, you need to know whether or not they're going to do it, or, like, double air, like, when characters do double hopped aerials in general, or can do, like, a rising, like, an aerial early in their jump or late in their jump, there's kind of, like, a timing mix-up on which one you punish. But what I'm saying is that Jigglypuff, because of her air mobility and the frame data on that thing, she just isn't really subject to that in the same way, which is why her pokes are so, like, it's why she can get away with throwing so many things around.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's also partly that, like, it's honestly partly that her back air comes out later in her animation than, like, Marth does, because they both have 30 frames of, like, their prayers both take 30 frames. It's just Marth's are all at the front. Mm-hmm. So then there's, like, a huge gap between, like, that and his next action. Like, if I go to undo Fight Core, his fair, ISA 30, Jigglypuff's is also 30. So yeah, like, because hers hits later, it winds up having these properties. It's actually, like, kind of good that she's got this middling speed, weirdly enough.
Right.
Because it winds up being efficient going up and efficient going down.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a very Jigglypuff thing. But this is what I mean when I say that, like, so this is why, like, Jigglypuffs, when they're, like, spacing like this, they just kind of, like, focus on speed and, like, just getting back into the air, because it's, like, this is what's important to them. But when they start doing this stuff, this is where they start doing this kind of thing. Because now they have to beat the shield grab.
Yeah.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, let's apply this to Falcon now.
Yeah.
So what's something that we can draw from that we can directly apply to Falcon?
I think a lot of, like, aerials onto shield, dash back, and then reacting to their out of shield options, if I'm in that, like, far spacing zone, would be, like, a starting point for how to start shield pressure.
Mm-hmm. What if we don't even react to, like, I think that's a great idea. What if we don't even react to it? What if we, like, hit their shield and then stomp in front of us?
Yeah, that's something when I was looking at the Puff matchup recently that I realized is, like, she's going to get her shield up a lot, but I can play that like the same way I do the Ices matchup, which is hit their shield pretty safely and then either run away to keep myself totally safe, or I can cover like a wave dash out of shield very easily with Stomp.
Yeah, and I bet that, like, as they get used to that, they're going to start looking for other things. I bet you could probably overshoot knees at the back of their movement.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Or you can start catching jumps out of shields with, like, up airs and stuff.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing, was, like, hit their shield with, like, knee or back air or even, like, stomping over Puff, like, or someone in their shield, and then nairing their, like, jump out of shield, like, preemptively.
Yeah, but, like, what we're learning here is, if we're going to be, like, taking, with the restrictions of movement from out-of-shield games, maybe we go for something even greedier than just nairing their jump.
Okay.
So, with all this in mind, well, first of all, let me ask you, was any of that helpful? Like, for what we went over? And, aside from that, how do you feel about trying to implement some of this in a match?
I'd be down to try implementing it. The splitting up into zones makes a lot of sense for like how Falcon is more like, or I guess like all characters operate, but realizing that like I'm gonna mostly want to be in the forest zone unless I'm really ready for doing something very specific at the close range.
Yeah, or like they forced that particular situation. You happen to be in an up close like shield pressure spot.
Like recognizing that and not doing like my far options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be down to try doing it because I think like giving it a shot. Because there are a lot of times where I do feel like, okay, they're shielding a lot. Like I need to like go for something big, and I think I end up doing it like going for like anti-shielding options a little too raw out of neutral, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me pass you my spectator code, and let's get cracking.
Okay.
I feel like we just wound up on this subject. I don't know if this is what you had in mind when you started today. If it isn't, my bad. But
no, this is good because it's still like this applies a lot to the Fox and Falco matchup where I like feel like I struggle with it. Is if they end up shielding a lot, it does feel like it becomes way harder. But I think if I can just eke out if I can eke out some bigger hits that are like, I guess, safer or less like raw out of neutral, so they're less predictable, I think that'll help me a ton.
Nice.
So I think on our next lesson we'll go over what I wanted to go over. But
what did you want to go over?
I had a set on Tuesday. I'm hosting the weeklies at my place now. The only person I lost to was a Marth player here, and he just did like the least Marth main looking stuff ever, because that's just how he's always been. It's very cool.
Is this Ossify?
No, it's Unicorn Pro Gamer. I don't know if you've...
Oh my god, I think I've seen him. Okay, yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I could see that. There's no reason we can't go over that, but if you want to try this out, that's okay too. I've passed you my code. Do you know how to do the spectator code thing?
Yeah. Oh, I need to actually get Dolphin running, start broadcast, confirm. Okay, so it should be broadcasting now.
There we go. Pog. And ranked or unranked, it's all good. It's all good with me. Just let me know when you're in an actual game, so like, because if it's not working, yeah, we'll have to share screen.
Okay. I need to turn you up a bit real quick.
No problemo.
Okay, can you say something?
Bacon.
All right, should be good. All right, and I'm getting in a match now.
Hype.
Oh, all right.
Are you actually in one, or?
I'm in one now.
Okay, I can see it. It's a fox. Oh, this is Chem?
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is going to be literally perfect.
It's fortuitous. Hey! You did the thing! Yep. Oh, we had that. So that looked really comfortable compared to like what it normally looks like when I've seen, like, as I've seen you versus Bobby, and like compared to what you were doing versus Shield and those, like that looked very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
I think this is like kind of the birthplace of like where like run up grab exists in this matchup, because I feel like one of like the ways that like a Fox would like address this is by just being like trying to like overshoot kind of like with their aerial to like where we're jumping to, because we do have a lot of air mobility, so it's not trivial to get in if we just switch to like walling aerial. But yeah. I think we need to represent Nair a little more.
Just as soon as I get on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Chem's good. Like, I get it. Super top Fox player.
That's something I've been trying to work on beating, is like when they're definitely coming on stage, if they're high, running up air is good, but if their angle's kind of low, like that instant up air doesn't hit.
I just grab him.
That makes sense. I mean, it... Oh, fuck. I hit that AI too automatically.
You were too good. The game...
Basically.
That happens. Wow, he really went for that. They never attack it twice. They never attack in the same place twice there. Oh, nice wall jump.
Maybe if I air dodged, I would have gotten out of that.
Maybe. That's not the thing we're worried about, though.
Oh.
God, you cyborg Falcons. I love working with you. Like Don't be afraid to like go for like the late hit up air on those when he's crouching like that. I think that it's underrated for like those kinds of situations.
Okay.
Because it's not quite as exploitable. Like again, like it's only -3 on hit. Like
yeah, so as long as I dash.
Yeah, because ASDI, like they still have to have the 4 frames. So as long as you're outside of the shine, like you're not technically obligated to do anything about them. It's like spacing Tip or Marth Fair on crouch. Like it works. Like people sometimes get hit for it, but it technically works. And against Fox, that's all we can hope for. Nice.
Whoa.
That spot there with the tech in place, that's a good spot to like where those like delayed aerials can also be good.
Okay. Instead of like force myself to hit the grab on reaction.
Yeah, well, like we're not hitting it on reaction anyway. Like we're second guessing. So if we're second guessing and we're like, if we know that we're off the rhythm anyway, why not, right?
Yeah.
Because we just like pelt him with another like powerful aerial. We force him to react to us, or like we prey off like the things that he would do to like get out of the grab. Nice go in.
I'm thinking about things instead of just playing.
I can tell.
Thinking about the wrong things rather than things I need to be working on.
I think that like you are a very good player. I think we can agree with that. So I would say like just do your thing. Don't worry about all this. You will be better at applying this than you think you are. Your brain will know like when to do like delayed aerial because Fox is shielding a lot. Beautiful. Because that also would have been good versus him shielding.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I think I was really locked in on covering spot dodge, but I need to like be ready to like be prepared for a shield as well. Because it's like I could have reacted, but reacting to it hitting the shield would have been kind of slow.
So here's the thing. A lot of things that like are good versus the game's natural defensive systems, like shield and crouch, are good against are the same things. Because like if we think about what's good against those things, we need powerful or we need grab. Like,
right.
There you go.
I've definitely thought of that before. Or how like at low percents, crouching is often just better than shielding because it like accomplishes a lot of the same things.
It's better, but it is also more unwieldy. Like, you can't like the biggest crouching's biggest problem is nothing to do with crouching. It's to do with the fact that you can't do it out of dash.
Right. Yeah, like setting up into it is not as easy.
Yeah, that's why shielding is good, basically because of that. Oh, he's like so dead. Nice, beautiful.
Well, I didn't feel like I was... He quit out. Didn't feel like I was necessarily doing too much directly with the shield pressure stuff you mentioned.
No, but you're doing more delayed aerials in general in fighting.
Okay.
So, like, that's... Again, this is why I always say, like, don't force the thing... Like, don't try to, like, over-focus on it, because the situations that you get in the match might not conform to the things we're looking on anyway. So the more important thing is to, like, figure out how we can apply it broadly to different situations. And if this happens to be, like, some of those things, then, yeah, cool.
So I guess focus on, like, what I'm going to do, and if it happens to, like, align with the thing I'm doing it for, good, but also, like, it'll lose to certain things, and, like, it'll beat other things I wasn't expecting to. Like,
yeah, just do your thing.
Instead.
Exactly, just do your thing. Like, this is a whole dimension of the game that I get the impression that we've never really thought about in this way. So, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
This will have impacts elsewhere.
Okay.
It also might help you versus that Marth player. So, like, what's something really annoying? Can you think of anything really annoying that the Marth player was doing that, like, this could apply to?
Teetering on the edge of the stage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting because he'll do it and then he'll reactively up tilt as you get closer to him, which pulls him further off stage, and then, you know, the hitbox of up tilt, that, like, ending hitbox. Yeah. So I have some replays if you want to look at those, or another thing was he's really, really good at, like, dashing at you and then not reactively just ASDIing down, but reactively getting a crouch out, like a true crouch cancel out as he approaches you.
Okay.
I guess it would be out of run rather than out of dash.
Oh, so if we're reacting with our aerials more, that feels like it would be really easy to stop.
Yeah. And that's something that's come to my mind recently, is like I'll bear people and be like, I saw that character crouching for like 20 frames. Like, I just need to stop. And that was the thing that you told me against Falco as well. So that's another thing I have been putting much better use to.
Well, I think that, like, think about, like, the fight pattern we're talking about. We're talking about doing, like, low-spaced aerial or, like, aerial wall, and then, like, when they're in shield, we're recognizing that even because this works with Nair too. Like, I want to be clear, this still works with the standard wall Nair, like if they block them, right? So
yeah,
if we get Nair out with some amount of frame advantage and we stomp the space in front of us, to, like, call it the wave dash, because we've been playing that, because we know that there's, like, limitations on how they get out of shield. Like, I feel like that kind of, like, attack pattern still will work, or, like, still have, like, utility versus this what this Marth is doing with his run. because it's like maybe you don't do the first aerial, but like the idea of getting yourself postured and then like checking what the Marth is doing as he like checking the Marth's spacing, and then like putting something there that just deals with him if he comes into that territory. Like that all makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say posturing, I know that looks different for pretty much every character, but I guess for Falcon, is that generally like starting a jump or starting a dash? I guess.
It's more about like
for example, like J-Mook, like he does a lot of like he talked in one interview about like setting up a crouch and like from there branching everything out, right?
Mm-hmm. So I guess with Falcon, it's more about like where you jump. I think that Falcon, like at the end of the day, he's an air fighter, because like that's where 5 out of his 6 like insane moves are. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's just where he's naturally gonna like have his gameplay structured around. That said, if you want to look at the Marth stuff, passing the Slippy VODs, let's take a look at them. Because I think that, like, yeah, let's dig into this.
Okay.
What's, like, the game... Because we only have about, like, 15 minutes, give me the most important match first. I'm going to assume it's this one.
Yeah, I think just the first game is going to be the most important, because that's, like, you have no, like, adjustments made yet, so it, like, is the most raw, what do I do against this thing?
It's, like, the most raw, what the unicorn is this?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just get this chillin', and then let's go in. And let's slow this down just a bit. 317, yeah, we can do this on 80, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay. So, I like what I'm seeing so far. I would have been more aggressive. So, okay, so this is just my, like... This is my, like, I hate people view of this game, but I feel like when they go on these side platforms, with how powerful Slip Off is, what do you think about, like, just, like, lobbing knee here early?
Just, like, yeah. Because
if
people are generally going to be doing that. What's really funny is his default right now against me is actually not doing the tech in with Marth. It's, like, doing the tech out, which, I don't know if you know, but Marth and Falcon on their tech rolls in don't have non-slide-off frames. So they can always slide off, unlike like Fox or Sheik or Falco.
Yeah, but knee doesn't care about that because it takes the ECB off the ground first, doesn't it?
I actually don't know.
Because of the electric property?
Yeah, I actually have no idea if he like tech rolls to the right and I knee him, I don't know if he'll like not be slid off because of that.
I think it does work that way. Because it brings the opponent off the ground before knockback is applied.
Okay, would that make sense if Spaceys cannot OMSA tech knee, but Puff and DK can because they have fixed DCB?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the same interaction.
Okay, cool. So I can just do that then.
Yeah. See, we're learning something. We're learning new things every day, and I bet if you like get a full hop knee onto that platform, and then like he flies off and he's holding out, he probably explodes or dies.
Yes.
Like you either get like another knee and you're happy, or yeah. So talk to me about this up tilt shenanigans. I haven't seen them quite yet, but I'm assuming they're coming up soon because he's down, and Marths love to cheese when they're down.
Yeah. I want to say... I don't remember exactly when he did it on this first game.
So is this
real? I'm
sorry? Is this second nair better than grabbing here?
Like grabbing there instead of nairing?
Yeah, instead of doing the second nair.
Let's see. Let me land. Yeah, off that, because of that DI away, I think grab will be way more consistent.
Yeah.
I think because it's like if you DI'd in, then the nair's obviously way better, but because then I can get like either an up.
Yeah, you delete him, like he dies.
Yeah, but as far as having a better general coverage, grab was definitely better. Like if I don't know like what habits are going to be happening yet.
Well, also like I think that it's like not. I don't think it's like I don't think it's crazy. Like what else do we do? So the reason I don't want to use the habits like logic here because let's assume that like this guy knows what he's doing. So like okay. let's talk through like why I don't think that like nairing there like the second time is good, and then you can decide like if you're if I'm like where we're at on this. So we get this nair here. My thing, what else can we do here? So
Other than nair and grab.
Yeah.
Maybe up air. Up air might come out fast enough because if he double jumps, it's still fine.
Up air is definitely fine. It's just that like we have to do it rising, right?
Yeah. Gentleman.
So, gentleman's okay. So which after all of those hit, on which ones does he want to hold in?
Gonna be none of them.
Right. So,
yeah, so
if all things are equal,
if he's just like, if he's just playing the like 90% of the time I need to do this, it's gonna be down and away.
Right, because there's nothing here that like because we can't link knee because it's too early for knee. I don't know, like nair 2 at this percent. Like I don't think we have enough. Like we don't have enough to just like hit him with like a back air. Like turn around back air's out of the question, right?
Yep.
Okay. So with that in mind, I think that at this percent, we just have to accept. Yeah, I think that at this percent, we just have to basically accept that, like, we're not, like, nothing we do is going to be, like, particularly exciting.
Can you go forward 14 frames? Because I feel like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. I was thinking maybe a reverse back air, but nah, I think that'll be, like, a very, very lucky situation. So
actually,
I think I agree with what you're getting at.
Actually, I just consulted the runes. So
runes.
Yeah, so putting him to 10 and 25 frames of hits of stun, like it is actually possible because back air hits on 10, right?
Yeah, and then after 4 frames of hit stun, of course.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 4 frames of jump squat.
Yeah, so it would be 14 plus 7. Assuming you land within 4 frames of hitting the nair 2, like, this is actually technically possible.
Yeah, it might actually work.
No, I'm saying it will work. Assuming assuming all things being equal, like, it does work in those conditions. This back air is not actually, like, unreasonable here, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, so where does he end up? Can I see how he gets sent after this nair, like, on that DI?
Sure. Let's see here. So,
yeah, I just want to see how low he is and just try to imagine, like, off of Bair, if he would be, like, below ledge. I want to say...
You know, we can just consult this thing.
Okay.
Like, we can't just add another move to this.
No, that's right. It does do whole-ass combos, doesn't it?
Yeah, like... Why aren't we using, like, come on, why aren't we using the cheaty? Let's use the cheaty thing. And we'll have him, like, look at that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, like, we could reverse hit it, like, if we hit it, like, here or something. Like, this seems quite good, like, quite
Yeah, I don't know if he could, I don't think he could have grabbed ledge at all from a Bair.
Honestly, we could probably double Bair him, like, not, like, as a true thing, but, like, this has potential.
Are you thinking turnaround Bair?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we keep this more on stage, right? Like, if we go here and, like, we move this thing over here, I think that we can probably, like, grab him. Like, we can maybe, like, grab the edge at least if we turn around. Like, if we turn, or, like, if we reverse Bair, like, land here, then just, like, if we reverse Bair, like, if we hit him here, we reverse Bair him here, we land here, we grab edge, like, we probably could just, like, falling, like, double jump, like, ledge hop Bair or something.
Yeah.
So Bair is actually really interesting here. So this actually is a much better play. There's actually more here than we thought. So there is a reason for him to hold in. Like, if we can represent the Bair here, like reverse Bair or otherwise, there actually is a reason for him to hold in.
Okay.
So that's a whole thing that we didn't know. That's actually pretty cool. This guy plays, like, very, like... He plays, like, correct for, like, the last meta, I feel. No, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, he's doing the juggles, and, like, a lot of, like, the push combos have kind of, like, obsoleted those. But, like, he's still, like, really good at up air. Like, he's really good at juggle. Like, my goodness.
UPG is very funny to me because I always tell people he, like, crafted his own Marth. Like, I don't think he's watched a moment of Melee. Like, just based on the way he plays. He just, like, figured out what he wants to do himself.
Nice aerial interrupt. So, the biggest thing I'm seeing here is a void of grabs.
So that's the up tilt.
Gotcha. So yeah, like, I would say that, like... So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is just, like, a really slow dash, jump cancel grab.
Okay.
Because, like, you see what I mean? Like, look at how long you spend in the jump squat. Like, you're probably in it 1, 2, 3...
So that was about as late as possible, I think.
Yeah, and then he goes for another hit, but, like, I think that this is an execution thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
The other thing that we might want to consider here is, if he's going for this up tilt, do we have to, like, why don't we could get closer to it without necessarily interacting with it? Because, like, here's the thing, it doesn't actually hit this platform.
Ooh, that's a really good point.
So, like, if we go here, we can just, like, fall through platform like knee, right?
Yeah.
Or
another thing I was talking about someone with is the fact that when he's doing this, he's holding up. And just, like, I guess that's would end up being pretty neutral DI a lot of the time.
Up air! Yo, you just, like, okay. No. So, let's make a diagram, because you're gonna like this. I think this is sick. So... Okay. You know how we've been talking about, like, how we want
late aerials,
like delayed aerials. So let's let's run forward here, jump back around here, and then we'll just, like, as we're moving backwards, we will put up air out, like falling up air like here. Mm-hmm. Because then he pops up like this, and then we kill, and then we explode him, and he dies. Like, that seems really good, and it doesn't seem nearly as risky because, like, we can also, like, jump. We can start the jump so far back. Like, we could also, like, we could slowly move in, like, jump forward, slow fall. Like, we could pull back. We could even double jump out for safety if we're not sure about this situation. All of this is happening with, like, all of this behind us, so, like, we're never in danger. Like. Yeah. This seems fun. This seems, like, really fun. Because it's just like, yo, are you going to do it? All right. I hope you're right.
Yeah, he is just giving up all his resources for one move to work. Because at some point, because we played 3 sets on Tuesday, I was doing that, like, just empty jumping to see if I could get him to move, and he would call me out with a dash grab. But I think jumping up, even just jumping into that space, even if I end up doing nothing, makes way more sense than doing that.
The other thing here is that we don't even necessarily have to play at the same level as him. Like, we could even, like, head up here, and then, like, because, like, this, once we're up here, if he goes for that, like that movement read, then all it is just, like, we fall through and boom, like, knee him, and he explodes. Or we can still do, like, the falling up air, which is also quite good. Or if he goes for the dash grab in, like, this area, we can just come off the platform here and back air him.
Yeah.
So, like, using the shield drop position here, because actually, I think part of why this works is that he's hitting with the end part of the up tilt. So, like, and I know that's, like, I know that you know that, but I'm starting to realize why that's good here, because it's the last frames of the up tilt hitbox. So there's the window to like, dash dance punish it, is actually significantly smaller, because normally if you're punishing from the front, then you have, like, it's really not hitting in front of him, like, until, like, let me see here, it stops hitting in front of him around, like, frame 8, but it's a 12 frame duration, right? So, like, yeah, it doesn't hit him in front of him in, like, from frame 8 onwards, like, from what I'm seeing here. So, like, with that in mind, you have an extra 4 frames of, like, punish window, whereas if you're hitting behind him, you don't have that. Like, that's huge. 4 frames is a massive difference.
Especially because I was just trying to intuitively fight it and just wasn't having success. It would make sense that completely threw me off.
Yeah, so this is sneaky by him, but it is just sneaky.
Yeah,
like it's
you're right. And that's what, honestly, that's his best attribute, is that he is just a sneaky player. It's insane. You'll do something and be like, "I've seen this before," and he'll be like, "No, you haven't."
Unironically, note a move. You're gonna laugh because it's probably like stupid, but like note a move that would also work against this if he's like in a dash dance situation would be fucking Raptor boost.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were gonna say.
Like fucking Raptor boost.
Yeah, because it's like he's there. I'm not gonna die. He doesn't have time to get out of the way.
Well, and the other thing is like, what happens if he comes forward with that dash grab and we Raptor boost over here, right? Like, we just dodge it anyway. Yeah. Fucking Raptor boost. Like, or forward smash. Like,
cool. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I want to see, can we just watch, well, I guess actually we're at time.
It's cool. Like, I'm having fun with this. It's all good. What do you want?
So the stuff about late aerials makes a lot of sense for, like, beating his crouch canceling. Like, that makes a whole lot of sense to me. I wanted to know, do you have some ideas for, like, when he gets a grab at low percent, he's good about, like, forward throw tech chasing, but he'll, like, forward throw, and a lot of times he'll, like, short hop to, like, cover 3 options with, like, dare on reaction, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's, like, covering, like, where he's basically covering in place, roll through, and no tack.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if there's, like, a way to really avoid that other than playing that RPS and just tech rolling away.
Why wouldn't we tech roll away from Marth? Like, my question... Okay, so first of all, yes, there is a way, because, like, that tech chase has a shelf life. So, like, once the down air starts... Like, once the down air becomes, like... Well, how much end lag does down air have? Marth down air has a lot of end lag from what I remember.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Like, it's like, what, 13 frames? Something like that? Down air. L cancelled lag 16. So, okay, so I would say that, like, once it's OMSA tech up, like, once the down air knocks you, like, pops you up, I would say that option selecting, like, no tech OMSA tech, like, no tech OMSA tech stand should absolutely be a consideration.
Okay, thank you. Those are the words I needed you to say to me.
But I would say before that, like, so for, like, whenever, like, in the space before you're at, like, 20 or whatever it is that where it knocks you over, it's probably higher than 20. It's probably like 30. But, like, before that, yeah, like, you probably just do have to play the mix-up. Or you can, or honestly, DI into him. Because a lot of, like, what he's doing relies, like, DI into him and then do the tech roll away. Because he can't chain grab you for DIing into, like, the forward throw, right? Like, once it knocks you over.
Correct, yeah.
So, like, you don't have to necessarily... Because I feel like your concern is, okay, but, like, I'll DI away from his forward throw, and then, like, I'll roll, and then I'm, like, all the way in the corner. But you don't have to be.
Mm-hmm. I also think if I hit that OMSA tech at, like, whatever percent it starts, the percents before that, I wouldn't really care about tech rolling out and getting, like, wave dash forward smash, because if that happens at 10, I don't give a fuck, right?
Right, because like, you just, like...
I'm not dead.
Yeah, you DI in, like, you're good. All is right in the world.
Yeah.
Unicorn, like, remains a unicorn. He's, like, you know, he's gonna do his thing, he's gonna vibe, he's gonna unicorn.
Yes.
Wait, so this is game 1? He struck to Dreamland?
He's like I said, he does.
What? I'm like, oh my god, this guy is like either he is the smartest player in the world or he's insane. And you know what? The crazy part is in this game, that could change in like a week. So like,
yeah, he was like top 10 in like the Nickelodeon like Smash game, the first one.
Oh,
like,
Nick All Stars? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's just very, very, very good at games.
I was thinking he was a P+ player. I like the way he fights kind of reminds me of P+ players.
I don't think he's played much of it, but I can't remember if back in like 2016, 17 he did. But
yeah, I will say that like I like what I'm seeing from you, but like yeah, that one thing in the corner, it's like weird, but I feel like the kind of setup that we're going for there will also work well versus like Sheiks who are like doing crap in the corner, or Fox and Falco when they're doing their wall in the corner. Yeah. So I would strongly recommend with like I'd recommend like thinking about how our late aerials can like be used to outspace attacks of this nature in those positions. Because I think that there's a lot for you to work with there.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, honestly, against this one specifically, fucking Raptor Boost. Like...
that one will be really funny. It's just like, oh, no, I'm gonna fall off the stage with Raptor Boost. Just kidding. Your body is way in the way. You're keeping me alive, actually.
Well, yeah, and, like, the thing is, like, the hit window on it is pretty reasonable. Like...
It's crazy.
Yeah, like, the 15 frame hit, like, but we're basically using as, like, a reaction confirm, and, like, this move has... the duration for us, like, if you start at the same time, like, it just works on this, which is, I think, the nuts part. So, cool. All right, we are at time, but, like, do you need anything from me before we call it? Like, yeah, just...
No, I got even more out of it than I thought I would today, so I appreciate it.
Pog, let's go. That's what I like to hear. And we'll continue on the 2-week cadence from here.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Amazing, Reesch. Always a pleasure. Enjoy, like, killing more Marths with your cyborg efficiency, and
I will.
spare us poor NES players, or don't.
I'll clean it up for you.
All right, later, dude.
All right, catch you later. Bye.